In this video, we'll be taking a look at 2 NBA games happening on April 7, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 2 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Sacramento Kings versus Detroit Pistons. On Monday, the Sacramento Kings are set to face off against the Detroit Pistons at Little Caesars Arena. This will mark the second time these two teams meet this season. Back in their December 26 clash, the Pistons edged out the Kings in a nail-biter, winning 114-113. Despite that, Sacramento holds the advantage in their last 10 head-to-heads, winning 6 and losing 4 straight up, although they've only covered the spread in 4 of those games. The total has gone over in 5 of those 10 meetings, with 1 push mixed in. The Kings are still without Jake LaRavia and Keegan Murray heading into this game, while the Pistons are continuing to monitor the health of Jalen Duren and Tobias Harris. That late December matchup still stands as a tough loss for Sacramento, but the Kings have turned things around lately. Their last 2 games showed a much sharper, more determined team, especially in their surprise win against the Cavaliers. That said, Monday's game comes on the second night of a back-to-back after a hard-fought victory. No rest days might catch up to them. Just last night, Sacramento pulled off a solid win over Cleveland, beating them 120-113 as big underdogs, 9.5 points to be exact. Now the line for this game has only shifted 2 points in the Kings' favor, from +9.5 to +7.5. That doesn't seem like a huge move considering what they just pulled off. It raises some questions about whether oddsmakers believe they can keep that energy going, especially with no recovery time between games. One concern hanging over the Kings is whether they might ease off the gas a little, knowing they're basically locked into a play-in spot. That, along with the back-to-back situation, could lead to some rest for key players. We might even see a bit of load management sneak in. On the flip side, Detroit has the rest advantage and is playing at home, which might explain why they're getting some respect in the lines. Still, they've dropped 3 of their last 4 games, and Tobias Harris is still showing up on the injury report. Sacramento may not have been consistent, but they're coming off a big win and still have something to fight for when it comes to playoff position. With that recent win, the Kings moved into the 9th seed in the West. That spot matters, especially if it means a potential home game in the play-in tournament against a team like the Mavericks. They've now won 2 in a row and have covered the spread in 4 of their last 6 outings. Both teams have reason to bring intensity to this matchup, as seeding implications linger for Sacramento, and pride is on the line for Detroit. As our first pick for this matchup, the Sacramento Kings to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Heading into the week, Sacramento ranks 9th in the league in offensive efficiency, putting up 113 points per 100 possessions. Detroit isn't far behind, sitting 17th and scoring 111.7 per 100. The Kings' Achilles heel continues to be defense. They're 23rd in the NBA in defensive efficiency, allowing 113 points per 100 possessions. That kind of vulnerability could give the Pistons enough space to put up points and keep the scoreboard active, which bodes well for the over. Pace will also play a role in how this game unfolds. Detroit ranks 5th in the league in pace, averaging 102.6 possessions per game, while Sacramento sits a bit lower at 19th with 101.0. Even so, the Kings tend to lean offense, and they shouldn't have any problem pushing the tempo to keep up with the Pistons. Both teams can run, and that usually means more shots, more scoring, and fewer long, grinding possessions. Looking specifically at how fast these squads operate, Detroit plays at a top 10 pace, averaging 100.4 possessions every 48 minutes. Sacramento isn't far behind with 99.2. Given that the Pistons are at home and playing with the motivation to snap their recent skid, I expect them to come out with energy. That, combined with the crowd at Little Caesars Arena and the chance to exploit the Kings' shaky defense, could make for a strong night on the offensive end. They've had a few rough shooting nights recently, but this matchup gives them a real shot to find their groove again. All signs point to a game that should see more points than usual. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Philadelphia 76ers versus Miami Heat. The Philadelphia 76ers are set to square off against the Miami Heat on Monday night in what should be a fairly lopsided Eastern Conference showdown. It'll be the fourth and final meeting between these two squads this season, and so far, Miami has had Philadelphia's number, winning all three previous games. The Sixers are coming into this one after a tight 114-109 loss to the Timberwolves, a game where they managed to cover the spread as huge 16.5-point underdogs. Miami, meanwhile, just dropped a tough one at home in overtime to the Bucks, 121-115. Failing to win as slight favorites. Injuries are still a major storyline for both teams. The 76ers remain without several key players. Joel Embiid, Paul George, Kyle Lowry, and Tyrese Maxey are all still sidelined. On the other side, Miami is monitoring the statuses of Tyler Herro, Alec Burks, and Andrew Wiggins, who are all listed as questionable. Despite the uncertainty, the Heat were always going to be strong favorites here simply because Philadelphia's roster is so shorthanded. To their credit, the Sixers hung tough against Minnesota, but reality has been harsh. 7 of their last 11 losses have been blowouts by double digits. The last time they faced Miami on March 29th, it wasn't close either. The Heat walked away with a comfortable 118-95 victory. At this point, you'd think the 76ers would be playing with a little more pride, especially riding an 11-game losing streak, but that hasn't been the case. They've basically been mailing it in for weeks now, and their next stop is South Beach for another likely beatdown to close out the season series with the Heat. Philadelphia has dropped all 3 games to Miami this year, with their best showing being a 7-point loss back in February. The other 2 contests weren't even close, losing by 17 and 23 points. Sure, they gave the Timberwolves a decent fight, but they still came up short. Once again, the Sixers are double-digit underdogs on the road, and it's hard to argue with that line. The Heat, meanwhile, are also dealing with some frustrations of their own. They've lost 2 straight games, and the Bulls have leapfrogged them in the standings by stringing together 3 wins. Miami's grip on the 9th seed is slipping, but a win on Monday would keep their play and hopes alive. After this one, they've got a huge matchup with Chicago that could determine who gets home court in the tournament. Against Philadelphia, though, the biggest concern is avoiding a mental letdown. The Heat have won 10 of the last 13 matchups against the Sixers at home and 9 of the last 14 overall, covering in 4 of their last 5 meetings. Tyler Herro might be back after missing the Milwaukee game, and Bam Adebayo is coming off a massive performance where he dropped 31 points and snagged 12 boards. With the regular season winding down, weird results are bound to pop up, but this game shouldn't be one of them. Philadelphia has shown no real urgency or intent to compete. During this 11-game skid, their net rating sits at an ugly minus 13.7, and only 4 of those games have been remotely competitive. As our first pick for this matchup, the Miami Heat to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Sixers season has pretty much unraveled, thanks in large part to their 3 best players, Embiid, George, and Maxey, missing large chunks of time with injuries. That's forced the team to lean heavily on inexperienced young players, and it's shown in the results. They've struggled to execute on both ends of the court. The Heat, while far from perfect, have been trending in a better direction despite back-to-back losses. They've dropped to 10th place in the East but still have a shot to climb to 8th with 4 games left, all against teams with losing records. That stretch includes a critical game against the Bulls. Miami's defense and offense have both sharpened late in the season, and they'll be locked in for this one. They've consistently played their best basketball at home, and that trend should continue. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.